Hello, and welcome to Let's Make a Top-Down Shooter. This video is about the effects of eating too much mint gum. And a special thanks to all my supporters. Thank you for helping me help others. So we're going to start this by creating a new Niagara system. This is going to be based on Fountain. And I'll call this ns.mintybreath, or frost breath. Open that up. So we want to increase our spawn rate quite significantly. I'm going to put this up to 1,000. I'm going to turn off gravity. In our initialized particle, I'm going to decrease the lifetime to 0.5 to 0.6. Going to set the color. Actually, I can do it here manually. I'll just set green and red to 0. So it's a true blue. And we want our uniform sprite size min and max up to 20 to 30. There we go. And lastly, we want to set our angle and velocity to 1000 to 1200 with an angle of 90 degrees. There we go. Now, as before, we could change the sub-UV or add the sub-UV animation, throw in the smoke, but this actually looks not too bad. Next, I'm going to go into our blueprint function library. I'm going to create a new function called Calc Flat Angle. And by flat, I really just mean horizontal. This is going to take in two vectors, which we'll just call V1 and V2. The output will be the float angle. So to get an angle between two vectors, we first are going to normalize. I'm going to hold Alt and click that so that I can then split this open, copy paste that down there, split these. As usual, I do not want the Z value. And then we're just sending this into dot product. The dot product gives us a floating point value, which when it is sent to a cos or arc cos, maybe I have to type a cos. There we go. We want degrees because we're human and we like that. And then we're just going to send out the absolute value, because depending on the relationship between these values, it'll give you a positive or negative angle. We don't care whether it's positive or negative, so we'll just send out the angle as an absolute. I'm also going to make this function pure. All that does is take away the exec pins. And then we're going to create our gameplay ability. Tedious gameplay ability. We'll call this GA Frost Breath. We'll set this to the primary. And as usual, we're going to start with committability. Drag that out and hit B while we're dragging. False will just end ability. For true, we're going to need the character specifically, so we're going to get our avatar. We're going to cast this to character so that we can use that to get a mesh. And that is so that we can spawn system attached, attaching the component to the mesh. This is going to be our new frost breath. In this case, we want auto destroy enabled. We're going to save this as frost breath system so that we can call a fire function. And as we saw in the initial laser beam video, we're going to wait input release. And during that loop, we will call delay until next tick. All this is doing is calling fire. And then going back. And in on release, we're going to get our system and call deactivate. So what this will do is we'll effectively detach it because we have our auto destroy. When it's done emitting, the particles that have been created are destroyed. Then the system itself should clean up. And then we'll just call our end ability. If you, in this case, try to destroy this like we did before with destroy component after deactivate and auto destroy are enabled, then it will complain because it's effectively already queued for destruction. So in our fire function, we're first going to get our avatar actor so that we can get our actor location. We will save this to a variable called actor location. We'll also use this to get our actor forward vector. Also save that. And then we'll call sphere overlap actors. So we're doing a cone attack effectively, but there is no cone overlap actors. So we kind of have to fake it. The position of the sphere will be the player. We need to make an array for this for pawn. And our class filter is BP enemy character. And we want a sphere radius in this case of 500. So with that, for our out actors, we will be doing a for each loop. For the target, I'm just going to get the ability system component. I'm going to get our avatar. Get that ability system component. And we're going to use this to both apply our damage GE again. The fire function is being called every tick, so we want our world delta seconds here. We just multiply this by a number. This number in this case will be our damage per second. Set that at 20. And we're also going to apply a gameplay effect to target. This will be chilled. And just to see that we're applying the targets, we're just going to throw out a draw debug capsule. The center in this case will be our target's actor location. The duration at 0 just means it shows every frame and then goes away, so that's fine. We'll just put some values of about 40 in here. So we add this to our Minty character. Default abilities. Throw in Frost Breath. When we run this, we have Minty, hold down Q, and as you can see, the fountain is working as I made it. What that means is in here, when we attach to our component, we also need to set the rotation here as 90. So there we go, that's what it looks like. When we go in and find some enemy characters, you don't have to shoot at them because I didn't do anything with the angle, but you can see that's roughly the distance. It's doing the damage. They're being chilled. So for the angle, go back in here. We're going to be taking our actor forward. And to get the angle from the enemy character back to our character, that would be just subtracting its location from our character location. And that gives us the two vectors that we want to check the angle between. So in this one, we're going to call Calc Flat Angle. And as long as that angle is less than or equal to 45, because we set our cone to 50, sorry, not 50, 90. We'll clean that up in a sec. As long as our angle between is less than or equal to 45, we'll draw the sphere and apply the appropriate effects. So go in here, we hold down Q. They're not being affected. Once they're in range and within that degrees, then they're affected. So you may need to mess around with the particle system a little bit to make it look like it's actually the right length, but it's working. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video and would like to see more, you know what to do. And if you would like to support this channel, watch these videos 2 weeks early, or just want to download the project files, you can do so through my Patreon linked below.